Wonderful stuff by them, and now we have Riv standing by on the red side to get the lowdown on Echo Fox's third straight win.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Great cast on the day. I am joined by Keith, or as Freak said, the superhero of that last fight, Toucan, after the win over Liquid. What a fantastic game. 57 minutes on the clock, one of the longest of our day. I just got to ask you first, how intense is that kind of game? What's the communication like? What does it feel like playing in a game like that?
It was definitely like a really intense game. I really felt like I was in the zone. I was completely focused on the game, and that's how I could carry it in the last fight.
Have you actually ever played in a game that kind of got this intense? I mean, it's not even a playoff or anything.
Yeah, I remember one game like it. It was when I was on Team Liquid versus TSM. It was like also an hour game. It was when Turtle like pentakilled us twice. You know, it was pretty intense.
Well, at least it was the other way around this time, you picking up some quadra kills. I do have to ask, though, even though you're not fully a part of this, 4 Zeroth portals in the game. It's kind of a different world going on right now for League. What is your kind of take on the Zeroth portals and how they're being played with the top laners and the junglers now?
Well, actually, to me, Zeroth portal is really annoying. It gives them way too much armor. I have to like rush last whisper and stuff, and it pushes side lanes way too fast. You don't even have to be there to push it. It's just really annoying because stupid minions come in. I'm trying to hit them, so our lane is like not falling behind. I'm just trying to end it so quickly. Yeah, it's just so annoying.
All right, Keith, final question so you guys can prepare for tomorrow, and that is my question. You're facing Impulse. You guys are now 3 current wins, 4-1 with this roster. How do you think you guys are going to do?
I mean, it's no different from today's game or any other game. We're just going to go into it as our best.
All right, Keith, thank you very much for the interview. Congrats on the win, and best of luck going forward. We're going to throw it down to the analyst desk to break down the rest of the day now.
Thank you very much, Riv. And before we get into any kind of analysis, we got to take another look at that game-winning fight, which the man on your screen just before us carried the heck out of. Quadra kill on that Lucian. We'll get that up on your screens as quickly as we can. And let's make sense of this one, guys, because it almost doesn't look like Fox is going to win this fight.
Yeah, look at this dive, though. Dardoch and Matt super far in front of everybody, and Phoenix gets blown up by Froggen right there. So even though Froggen goes down, when Keith is able to get around the side and they take down Piglet, that's all the damage sources, and Keith goes wild cleaning everyone up.
I would just love like a line following Keith's route throughout this fight, because he's actually just skirting right out of people's ranges, and as soon as the knock-up ended up hitting Piglet, he just dashes to the side around the other tanks and just pops them twice and takes him out.
It's why Lucian post, Essence Reaver fully cooldown maxed out is so fun to watch in team fights, because you only have to get a couple of autos in and you can re-dash immediately almost. The cooldown's so low.
Yeah. I was about to say, if you have a friend who's curious about how Lucian should be played, showing him that clip would be a very good example of how he should teamfight, because the proximity he has to enemy champions is very close, but he's playing in a way that he is avoiding
the point that he almost hops around as much as Kalista.
Right. Yeah.
Lucian, because of the cooldown reduction.
So either way, fantastic play out of Keith himself there individually. However, it was a long game, right? And I kind of want to approach why it did take so long for this game to close out, one way or the other, either Team Liquid winning or Fox. And for us to reach 57 minutes is...
I think 4 Zeroth portals had something to do with it, boys.
4 Zeroths and a banner of command.
Zeroths are basically like corks for these minion lanes, right? Because the minion wave is going to push up, and they're good at taking the outer towers, because you can even put at your own tower and they'll get all the way to the outer turret, and those zones are easy to take down. But in the mid stages of the game, it's hard to get one to last up close to secondary turrets or inhibitor turrets, but you can just pop it on your side and have it be like this stopper.
Right.
And then no progress really gets made that much until there's a big fight around Baron. There's, people have to die.
Yeah, it ends up stalling these minion waves out. And the other part of it is, if somebody goes to clear that wave, you actually get more time because they clear that wave. Then they have to go clear it all the way up to the portal. And then they have to kill the portal, which has like 2,400 effective HP. And it's just a huge time sink for somebody who needs to actually clear that wave out. And if they do that, you're just like, let's go do Baron. Let's go get something off of this. So basically, you have to match a portal with another portal.
I was about to say, yeah, and that's why we see so many portals built. You've got to match them 1 for 1. Otherwise, you're relegating too much of your time from one of your players to that lane to deal with.
The lane will always push, too.
The lane will always push.
And the other factor, of course, is that, as they mentioned so many times, these teams are incredibly close. These are the teams fighting for those last couple of playoff spots, and Echo Fox are making a really good case for themselves.
Yeah, I was going to say, we'll get into the full standings later, but just to kind of illustrate that point, these teams coming in 5-5, 3-7. Echo Fox now moving to 4-7. They tie themselves up with Team Impulse, who they're going to be playing tomorrow, and within one game of Team Liquid themselves. So all of a sudden, that energy all the way through Impulse and Dignitas, even at 3-8 pack, has become real interesting.
Yeah, Froggen's been on a warpath ever since he got back into the North American LCS, and people better watch out because Echo Fox are moving up quickly.
Right, and that's the next thing I want to hit is let's talk then about the success of this team, because we have so often looked at Froggen. He's the guy who's got to do it. He's got to play something like Lissandra, who can really, steer the team into the engagements they needed. Well, he plays Corky this time, and he takes a little bit more of a back seat to people like Big and Keith.
Keith needs a duo.
Keith does need a duo. But I can see you wanting to get in on the big point.
I think Big played a phenomenal game here. His Braum, his shield blocking was so good throughout this entire game, blocking Ezreal ultis and setting up fights, only having one death and soaking so much damage here. And I know that Big, he's actually credited as being the shot caller of this team, and I got to talk with Froggen about it, and he's like, Big is actually teaching me a lot and has impressed me on this roster because people really underestimated this guy, and he brings a lot of game knowledge and leadership, and Froggen's actually taking cues from him now because he's never had to be a leader.
Yeah. 1-1-15, though, Kobe hates him. He's not a good support. He took one kill somewhere, so Kobe, oh, please, we've been over this with Adrian. When Adrian had the 1-1-50 or whatever, you're like, nope, not the perfect support.
But me and Adrian have an understanding.
Oh, okay, all right, I see how it is.
Big caught so many ultimates, though. Not only, like, Ezreal, Gragas, he was everywhere.
Multiple person ultimates with his own, playing that shield very well. We saw multiple times body blocking, key skill shots to keep people alive. So overall, relatively impressive play here from Fox. 3-0 now after they have their full lineup back in. I think for the most part, you can kind of chalk up the length of the game to the items that were bought and forgive some of the slow-pacedness of the game. Anyway, fantastic win there for Echo Fox. After an exciting day of games, let's check out the standings to see how our teams are stacked up. Immortals are in first place, but there's a three-way tie for second between Cloud9, Counterlogic Gaming, and TSM. Then it's Energy Esports in fifth and Liquid in sixth, while Fox continues their climb up the standings to tie Impulse in seventh. Rounding out the standings, we've got Team Dignitas and Renegades. We'll be right back here tomorrow, though, with special guest analyst Dyrus to help us break down another day of LCS action, and it starts off with Renegades taking on CLG. Then Team Dignitas will go up against TSM. We'll conclude Week 6 with our match of the week as Liquid looks to stop the Juggernaut Immortals from grabbing their 12th straight win. And keep it tuned right here immediately following our show today for the latest edition of the ULOL Campus Series. Tonight, we've got a Midwestern matchup as Ohio State takes on the University of Illinois. Once again, I'd like to thank Azael for sharing his insight with us today. And now for myself, the casters, and the entire live broadcast crew, thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.